Jonah, Jurkens.
Kelsie, Huff.
I love our dramatic pauses.
That's pretty good, right?
I know. It feels like we're starting some kind of epic adventure.
Right. Looks like we're about ready to punch each other.
But you know what we do when we punch? Giggle, giggle, giggle.
Yeah. Some of those girls were crying.
Oh, the mania was intense.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh, my gosh. You guys, welcome. This is Petals and Pricks. We're a Bachelor podcast,
Yes.
and we're going to talk about this season of The Bachelor, which is season 23. Colton.
Yes, it is.
This is week
Episode
6.
Week 6.
Episode 6.
6, like a slippery snake.
Yeah, we do sound snake-like.
Yeah, we do.
Ooh. My favorite snake of all time, sorry, Nancy, up top, from Robin Hood, the cartoon. Sir Hiss.
Oh, yeah.
Sir Hiss was the greatest. We've talked about him before. I'm sorry to bring it back. But I just love him. I just want to be sponsored by Sir Hiss.
I would go to...
Favorite cartoon?
No.
Favorite snake?
Well, there's a snake-like character in the cartoon, and that cartoon is Dino Riders.
Dino Riders. Okay.
Yeah, I believe the bad guy was a very snake-like person.
Just had like
and he'd be like,
Voldemort.
let's go, like that kind of.
Yeah. A little slither in his speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah. I thought you were going to go Jake the Snake because you're a big fan of wrestling.
I do like Jake the Snake. It's very good. He's a very interesting story of Jake the Snake. And here it starts.
Yeah.
So Jake the Snake started back in 1946.
We're going back to The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
So
or did you ever see the evil snake person in Dreamscape with Dennis Quaid?
No, but I bet you have.
It's yes, it is. It's an 80s movie where Dennis Quaid has the ability to enter your dreams.
Oh, cool.
And sometimes he has to deal with your nightmares.
Like Freddy Krueger.
Yes.
Or as you like to call him, Fred Krueger.
Fred Kruegs. Mr. Kruegs.
Mr. Kruegs. What up, Senior Kruegs? It's summer break. Any snooze.
You know who got caught giving little kids beer? Mr. Krueger.
What?
Mr. Kruegs.
Kruegs, man. Lock him up.
Mr. Krueger does that. Mr. Kruegs is like the cool summer school teacher.
Yeah. He's wearing like a Trader Joe's Hawaiian t-shirt.
Yeah, if you bring him like maybe a Coca-Cola, he's okay with you being a little late.
Yeah. You know what? He can pop those cola cans real easy with his scissor fingers.
Right. Gross.
Any snoozo. So let's get back to The Bachelor, you guys. Hulu, I want to thank you. So this week, we did not do live tweeting. Jonah had a show, crushed his show. I actually watched it on Hulu this time. I just want to say thank you, Hulu, for taking my note. Ari is now off of the pre-show sort of visual, and Colton is on. So I really appreciate the folks at ABC for listening to our podcast.
Do you think? Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much for listening to our notes, taking our notes.
Prickheads, thank you for tweeting at Chris Harrison. He was very pissed. He called me personally. He canceled our golf trip, which I'm very upset with.
Oh, so upsetting. Yeah.
Not good. Mm-hmm. I wonder because we noticed also DirecTV had the same problem.
Yep. Yeah, they had.
I wonder if somebody got fired over that shit.
I hope nobody lost their job. I really want to keep people employed.
Yeah.
You know, the government might be shutting down again. I need everybody to have their job.
Yeah.
But I just really appreciate that note. We have so much sway, Jonah.
Do you think it's because the government got shut down?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the government's fault. No, I'm just
that
saying,
would be funny if you're like, it's a government job.
It's a government job.
You doing what? I just upload Bachelor photos.
America is going down a weird path.
Oh, then your theory that this is a way to brainwash people, that could be true then.
Yeah, maybe
like
it is.
This is like
this is all sort of a Russian plot.
Uh-huh.
Oh, jeepers, creepers.
No.
Jonah, you could be easily swayed to be in a cult.
I don't think so. Why do you say that?
Because you have a lot of bottles of Kool-Aid over there.
That's just Master Brian brought those over.
Master Brian. He's a master, but he's still pretty chill, Brian.
No, that's supposed to help me get rid of my evil.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get into this action. Cool. So recap really quickly. They gave us a recap so we know, just so you guys know if you haven't watched us. So they're in Thailand. They're still in Thailand. Elise is currently gone. Nicole and Annika, they're still having a boring fight. Chris is in voiceover land, so he shows up voiceover because he wasn't in week 5.
Clearly hungover.
Oh my God. He's like, what's going to happen?
I don't fucking care. Like, whatever.
So we're back on the beach with Colton. You know, Colton is kind of, walking the beach back and forth.
Putting putting rocks in his
Put those stones in his pockets to really.
I can't make any right decisions. I just don't know what I'm doing out here.
Just take a long walk, Colton.
And then Then the producer's like, Chris, you gotta
step in.
You gotta talk somebody off the ledge again.
So Chris
He's like,
shows
is it
up.
Ari situation again? Jesus Christ, these people can't handle things.
Yeah. So he goes. So Chris shows up on the beach. You think he looks rather annoyed? Yeah.
Oh, so frustrated.
Yeah. He's like, get it together.
He was like probably enjoying a nice little thing of bourbon.
Chillaxing.
Chillaxing.
Yeah.
Talking to Bieber's mom.
Yeah, so I didn't know this. Oh my gosh. A huge shout out to Tina over at the Jam because she knows all the scoop.
Right.
And this is way old news to Bachelor Nation.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
And I don't know any of this stuff because I'm only in it for the podcast, not the show.
Right.
Chris Harrison, when he got divorced, dated Justin Bieber's mom for a while.
Yeah.
Had no idea. I'm sure fans that are listening to this right now are like, get it together, you guys. You have a podcast. You're supposed to do research. We don't know shit.
No.
But Tina knows a lot, and hopefully she'll be on the podcast.
Do you think that Chris,
info.
this is like a ploy for Chris to be like, one of these days that career's not going to go well and he's going to need to find a suitor?
Oh, you think it's a long con to get Biebs on the Bachelor?
How long do you think it's going to be until we see like a true celebrity? I know we've had like, obviously Colton was an NFL player and Ari was a go-kartist. Yeah. And Nick,
Man,
and then
somebody make that meme with Ari on Mario Kart right now.
Yeah, right, please. And then Nick was on The Bachelor before. Yeah.
So you're saying like somebody
Nick was a celebrity stalker.
Oh, for sure.
Mario Lopez.
I was gonna say Mario Lopez.
Whoa.
Why? Did you watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Is that why Mario Lopez is in your brain? Oh,
why?
He just made a cameo.
Was he funny?
Why. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Yeah, but Mario Lopez would be a great connection because he has like sort of like an E News vibe about him. Like it would be not a crazy transition to see Mario Lopez.
And I feel like that's an easy person to get to if you were a stalker.
Why does it have to be stalking all the time?
I just said that Chris got in trouble for stalking Mario Lopez.
Yeah.
I feel like he's accessible.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on Access.
He is accessible. Nice job.
Yeah.
It's in the title.
Can you believe? Okay, so honestly, think about this.
Okay, I'm thinking.
So now we're thinking like, okay, celebrity bachelors. What if Mark Paul Glossier, Zach from Saved by the Bell?
Okay.
What if he became the Bachelor?
Okay, I'm hearing you out.
How amazing would that be? He is in his 40s.
Why him and not Mario Lopez? Just because Zach has
I feel like
more
Mario
sway?
Lopez may be accessible because he's on Access, but I feel like he's like too hot.
Oh, you need someone
too hot.
Interesting. So what? We should ask like Prickhead Nation.
And
90s stars. Who 90s nostalgic 90s. Like who would you want on there?
Oh my God, who wouldn't you want?
What about like Urkel?
Like
He's an
Urkel
actor?
as Stefan though.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry, Stefan.
That guy was a dreamboat.
Stefan is the next Bachelor.
Oh my God, that'd be the best.
But that.
What about
that
Joey Lawrence? He's aged okay.
Honestly, I don't know what anybody looks like nowadays. Is he? Yeah. But I'm sure you guys.
And that would be his
tweet us
thing
out.
too, where it's like every time somebody would say something, he's like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Every time Chris yelled at him.
Yeah. Or like, I don't know if you're here for the right reasons.
Whoa. Yeah.
Awesome. So this is a great idea. I'm gonna think about this and like tweet out some 90s celebrities
What
that
about
you think would be.
Sasha? The dude from Step by Step that lived in the bus.
Yeah, I don't watch.
Who's
the
in
show,
American
but I'm
Ninja 2.
People will love it.
Not American Ninja 2. Kickboxer 2.
Okay.
The
Well, so you
aggressor.
know what? You make a list. You make a list, Jonah.
I like pushing references to the point where people are like, I'm done listening.
We're shutting down.
No.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, cool.
So we'll think about that. Some 90s celebrities that you think would be great as the Bachelor or Bachelorette.
Right.
And Bachelor in Paradise, that's a Screech situation.
That's a Screech
Yeah,
situation.
yeah,
For
yeah,
sure.
For sure.
He's for sure been in line for like auditions. Screech?
Yeah.
Dustin Diamond?
Yeah.
Used to be my neighbor. That's a fact.
Whoa.
Yeah. In
Blowing
Wisconsin.
everyone's mind right now.
Yeah, but this is before he stabbed somebody.
Oh, jeepers.
Anyways,
creepers. Any
okay.
snoozer. So we get a rose ceremony. So we
Yeah.
had 2 rose ceremonies in this episode.
We did. I didn't think we were gonna get to the second one.
Yeah, and I'm so glad they did.
I thought
Because
that was gonna
I
be a
don't
tease.
I don't like a dangling rose ceremony.
No, you don't.
Not a fan
No.
of it. Just get this shit over with.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thought about this whole Bachelor thing.
Right.
Why don't we just get this shit over
Right.
with? So going into the rose ceremony, Heather, Cassie, Hannah B already have a rose, so they're safe. And then we go with we're going in with the drama, the Nicole Annika drama.
Right.
Annika, I'm so sorry, I always screw up her name.
How'd you feel about them not running after Colton? That was a kind of conversation that happened up front.
He seemed, the body language, I think they read it correctly.
Yeah.
He wanted to be alone. And
Which is good.
Whoosh,
Because sometimes you see that body language and people are like, Colton, I need to talk to you for a second.
Yeah.
He's like, I need some fucking time
yeah,
right
I
now.
need you to leave me alone.
Listen.
Yeah, because he was going to walk into the ocean and they were like,
Right.
we don't want to be dragged under.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you notice like Chris, because they just shot him from like the nips up, you know? Did you notice when they kind of like cut back to Colton, Chris was walking, you can see in the background, and he had a life preserver.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, just in
One
case.
of those round ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
a
in case.
lifesaver.
Lifesaver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like the candy.
Just like the candy. Yeah.
You know, because what we know about Chris Harrison, he's always going to put himself out there to help others.
Right. Yeah.
If he can make money off
Yeah.
of it.
You know,
like,
like if
the
you want to, he's like,
suicide's not
you're
gonna be great
my
for me."
boat. Don't.
Don't do it. Yeah. So we've got Kaylin, Tasha, Kirpa, Demi, Hannah G, Katie, Sydney all stay.
Yeah.
And then out Nicole and Anika. Nicole is very upset throughout the whole thing. She is actually crying during the rose ceremony.
Yeah.
And Anika kind of smiles and she's like, hey, I wish you all the best. She's rejected with laughter. I felt like she played this very well. She knew it was over and she just kind of rolled with
I
it.
like the comment where she was like, hey, as long as I didn't get denied by this girl over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was that was that.
Yeah.
You know? And I think it's one of those things in this show where it's like it does, I don't know if they did it on purpose or not, like send a message like, this not what I don't want this shit to happen.
Right.
Both of you are all gone.
I don't understand why Colton was just like, this rose ceremony has been very emotional for me. Like, it's how? It's
don't
just
know.
people are arguing. Like,
Yeah.
why does that affect you so much?
Or maybe he's just like, I don't want to deal with this. I'm very frustrated. Like
I understand
I don't
frustration,
know.
but he seemed like this is just so hard.
Yeah.
You know?
So he went kind of victim-y. Ooh, sorry, I hit you. One kind of victim-y and you
ever
weren't
touch
into
me
it.
again.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's annoying. I mean,
Yeah.
all this kind of fake drama is annoying, you know?
Yeah.
And we know Colton, that, you know, going back to the Bachelor in Paradise with that, like, Tia shit, it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
I'm very glad that this
Even
this
he like
isn't drawn out.
overanalyzes things.
Yeah, it's very drawn
Which is
out.
fine.
Yeah.
Which is probably why he's still a virgin.
Yeah, maybe.
I think he builds things to too bigger. That's why I thought when I first started, before I started drinking, I always thought this was such a big terror. No, seriously, I would talk myself out of it because I was
Yeah.
like, this is, oh my God. And the first time I got drunk, I was like, oh, that's not that big of a deal.
You need that elixir to like knock
Yeah,
out
yeah.
that
Yeah.
that anxiety in
And
your
you're
brain.
like, easy breezy. Pumpkin sneezy.
That liquid courage, as they
Mm-hmm.
say, or maybe that sometimes like alcohol shuts off that part of your brain a little bit.
Or
which
even
is
like
very
the first time performing too. Like, you know, you spend months and weeks just like, oh my God, I can't. And then you do it and you're like, okay, that was hard, but like, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, well, I think
that's how
that's-
you felt about watching The Bachelor for the first time.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? Am I going to fall in love with
Oh,
it?
yeah, no.
You watch it, you're like, oh no, I hate
Oh
it.
no, I hate it. I was
Yeah.
right. Yeah. But I think that's what the beauty of experience. Like you can like
Yeah.
it's the unknown is scary, and then you do it, and it's not unknown anymore, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Even if it was terrifying, you're like, I survived.
Right.
So I can do that, and I can do other things.
It's kind of like in the 40-year-old virgin. That's what he kind of talks about. Where like I didn't make a choice, and it's
Yeah,
just like I didn't
just-
have opportunities.
yeah.
It just kind of didn't happen.
And then it got weird.
And all of a sudden it got weird. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it got really
Yeah,
weird.
yeah, yeah.
And I feel like Colton's like right before it's gonna get like he's just gonna be like that
Well,
for a
he's
while.
so young still, though. That's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
he
right
is young.
before. Yeah, he's still young. It's still like fine. Like it's not.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that much of a taboo. Like if he was like 35. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
it seems odder then, just
Yeah.
because you have more life experience that you would assume that would have happened.
Yeah, he's like 35, being like, I'm not gonna have sex, but I'll finger you. Gross. Could you imagine somebody saying that? I'd throw up.
Yeah. That's not how you woo someone.
Yeah, pretty good at fingering.
What a terrible line.
Ugh. And then also Chris is so done with this shit.
You think? Yeah.
When he went out and he's like, all right, ladies, final rose, pick it, see ya. I was like, I've never seen him so
He's
phone
phoning
in
it in.
something
Yeah. Oh, man.
before. He's tired.
Phoning it in.
Yeah, he's missing I was thinking of a stupid show. He's missing his Heroes rerun.
Heroes. Wow, reaching way back.
Yeah.
So the rose ceremony is on over, and then the next big chunk in the show is we're in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to Vietnam. They mentioned one of my favorite shows, and I was like, Cringe City, because they're like, Good morning Vietnam, and I was like, Don't you ruin Good morning Vietnam for me.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I felt very protective.
I felt
about
the
this
same
show.
way too.
Did you really?
I did.
Yeah. I was like, stop it.
And also I was like, that's not the Vietnam you want to remember.
Yeah, that's the other thing of like, I was like, I think there should be, because there's like shots of people working. There's like a lot of history in Vietnam, you know, between America, but also the French. I mean, there's like, was a war torn. There's situations.
Yeah.
And like bringing this kind of, it seems it just seems a little exploity. And the fact that like, I'm sure one of these women don't like know the history, it kind of weirds me out. I think they should do like a history lesson.
Well, how crazy was that? Yeah, that's a good idea. For these poor women to handle.
Yeah, well, it's like
also are dealing with enough.
Well, are they though? Because you know who's really dealing with enough? They're showing shots of people like working in a fucking rice field. Those, and I always talk about this. The normal, regular people are way more interesting to me than like a bunch of rich white people coming to this town.
They're not rich.
Come on.
No, they're not.
They're not working in a rice field, Jonah.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, that's a fair thing
That's
to say.
I just feel like those people have more interesting stories. I always talk about this though. You know what I mean? I'm always like, I'm interested in when you see like in Becca's episode, you see like the axe thrower people. I'm like, this is what you do for a living?
Yeah.
What's their story?
I know. Yeah.
You know, like they're more interesting to me than like Instagram famous people.
Right.
They're just kind of boring.
Agreed.
Beautiful people are just kind of boring.
I don't think so. I think they're very fun to look at. I'm just kidding. So, well, how fun would this be? How great would it be, like a whole episode where Colton has to explain the history of these places to these girls? See him struggle through that shit?
Yeah, it would probably be like a cringeworthy, like a British Office situation
Yeah.
where you have like David Brent trying to be like explaining like racial relations.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, no.
And he's like,
no.
Right. Yeah. I would love that.
Yeah, it would be a very cringy moment.
Yeah. And then, well, how crazy is that when we find out that, I didn't know this, where they're like, and we have the host of The Bachelor Vietnam.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
I didn't even know. I don't really know how international The Bachelor gets.
I didn't know.
In Winter
I know
Games,
I know it was international. I didn't know it was like that specific. I wonder if every country has their own Bachelor.
I know. You know what?
That's
Tina
not
would
a real
know.
thing.
Tina from the Jam would know.
She would know.
Yeah. And we should know, but we don't do our research.
Do you think that, we don't. Do you think that stop putting us down, we're great. Do you think that like Vietnam, like their tourist division or whatever you would call it, do you think that they reach out to like places like The Bachelor, have them visit to?
Well, you know,
I saw Vietnam. I was like, I've always wanted to visit, but I definitely was like, oh, I didn't realize how pretty.
Yeah, you know, because I'm not quite sure. I mean, now that we know that they have specifically a Bachelor there, I'm sure there's like some cross promotion, right?
Yeah.
So maybe the reason they go to certain countries is to also sort of inflate the numbers of the, you know, oh, hey, this country also has a show.
Yeah.
So they can be maybe, you know what I mean? It's a little like cross branding.
Yeah.
But let's say they didn't have a Bachelor, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure, like for example, I went to Iceland because one of my favorite like vloggers went there.
Really?
And so I was able to see what it looked like through this person that I like kind of like, you know, there's something about vlogging, like I feel like it's a trust thing. And not when Colton vlogs, whatever.
Yeah.
But I was like, whoa, I'll go. So maybe it does increase tourism and get some more dollars into different countries. I think maybe.
I mean, I went to Cancun because The Real World made a movie there called The Real Cancun.
Was it real?
I can ask my cousin's friend who's on it.
Oh, nice brag, Jonah.
I know. We see their boobs.
Oh, you see their boobs, X. But you know what? You mentioned something that I want to talk about too. Like when I was on Snapchat for a while, like I was hardcore on Snapchat, and they had like travel channels basically
on Snapchat.
And there was I can't remember their name now because I'm not so much on Snapchat anymore. But they were going to Vietnam like regularly, and it looked amazing.
Really?
I was like, dang, I really want to go here. And it was never a place
I heard the food's
that
incredible.
that I was really like drawn to for whatever reason. It just wasn't on the top of my brain. And it was just beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe.
Food's great. I heard you can get drunk for like a nickel.
Well,
seriously?
And I'm not somebody who drinks there, but their beer there is supposed to be, they have like a real like beer culture kind of thing.
Yeah, it's so cheap.
And like people in Chicago, this is a beer culture here as well. So I feel like a lot of people would be jazzed about it.
Right. They should, I should go over there.
You should go over there.
Yeah. So we start again with another vlog from Colton. How'd you feel about that?
Yeah. So here's the thing.
Him on oh, what an early run I had.
Yeah. Yeah. I started thinking about this because, you know, we were making fun of him of like, oh, they're running out of a budget. They're making him vlog. The real truth of the matter is like, I would not watch Colton's vlog. If he had like a vlog channel, I'm like, it's not as enticing. You know what I mean?
Right.
There is something about vloggers that like their personality comes through. And I was like watching it as an actual vlog. I'm like,
See, to me, his vlogs seem like every vlog I've seen where I'm like, okay, you have nice eyes. I get it.
Oh, so
and I have gorgeous eyes.
Yeah, you do? Very good, very nice eyes.
Very blue.
I'm watching vlogs because I think I just like their personalities.
Gotcha.
And even if they're doing something boring, it's just kind of, I don't know, exciting.
I was hoping like all of a sudden the tides will turn and then all of a sudden like hundreds of crabs start chasing Colton.
If it's just like, ow.
Because like, I mean, let's be honest, like Colton is definitely like quote unquote, like, you know, a jock.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
I like seeing jocks who are like not like quote unquote real men. You know what I mean? Like when we see him jump
like
off
moments of weakness.
Yeah, we see him jump off the bungee and he's like, and then the whole like not again thing. And then also like whenever he jumps in the water, he pinches his nose.
Oh, nice.
And it makes me giggle every single time.
Well, because I mean, that's such a comedy thing too, right? Is like you have a high status,
Yeah.
right? So you have somebody that you think of the perspective is like this way.
And then they do a bunch of lows. Yeah. I mean,
that's just classic
so
comedy
I was
stuff.
hoping to see that and he's just like,
Or like, speaking back to the vlog, like the vloggers that I watch or whatever, her name is In the Fro, and her and her boyfriend go out. And there was one time when this happened to them. They're in this beautiful, I can't even remember because they go everywhere. They're in this beautiful beach, and all of a sudden they keep twitching, and they're like, there are flies everywhere. And they're like, and then they go back into the room and they're like, look at these welts. And you know what I mean? That's like real.
Yeah,
that's
it's
like
like
real traveling shit.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And I think that would be so funny.
Yeah, I would laugh my.
You know?
Yeah.
But again,
seriously,
like,
whenever he jumps, just next time.
I will notice if he's
he
plugging
pinches his nose every time.
So cute.
Because it's funny because on the other hand, he's holding, you know, he's like, let's jump in together. And the other hand, he's like, I don't like water in my nose.
Oh, I love it.
And I like,
see, that's the stuff I like people being human.
Yeah,
you know?
it's fun to see him kind of be like that.
Yeah.
Like, or, you know, like hopefully next week we find out where he's like, is like, oh, I can't handle this. And then he just jumps over a fence. Yeah. But he jumps over like a superhero.
Yeah, I know. It's an amazing jump. It's an amazing jump.
It seems
I gotta give it to them.
Effortless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm somebody who, like, you know, again, I grew up in the country, so you're like climbing fences. This shit's hard.
Yeah.
Even when I was a kid and lighter and spry, I'm always struggling. So the
Right.
fact that he was just like, flink.
Well, that's the thing. Is okay. So quote unquote, you know, Colton definitely has a nice body, right? But he doesn't have like that show body that like some of these other bachelors have. But the thing is he has like an athletic body. I mean, like he's trained to produce. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like there's no way these big, normally quote unquote super jacked ones can do something like that. So like when I see him with the shirt off, I'm always like, yeah, he's definitely got a great body. He's a very good looking guy. But I'm like always like, he's not like jacked, you know? You think
He's
a football
like a bodybuilder.
You would think a football player would be more quote unquote jacked, but he's like athletic and he's been trained in that to be efficient his whole life.
And that
so when
that
you
fence.
see that, it's like, whoa, this guy's like a superhero.
Yeah.
So it's like you're like, oh fuck, stop judging people.
Yeah. You know what I think makes you a real superhero? Finger strength.
I bet and even like when he fakes the choreography, the fight choreography, you're like, oh shit, yeah, this guy used to play football. Like they straight up get trained that way for their arm movement.
Do you know what I mean though? Like one of the reasons he can climb is like, you know, you're always seeing superheroes like dangle on stuff and like lift themselves up.
Yeah.
I'd be dead in a second.
Oh yeah.
You know, dead in a hot second.
He's so efficient. So I'm so excited I like seeing that.
Excited.
But I like seeing the just say that word for me.
Juxtaposition?
Yeah, of that compared to like my nose.
Your nose.
Yeah, it's so funny to me.
The other thing I'll give Colton, and I know this is not really on point with this, but it comes up a lot, and also Tina mentioned it when she interviewed him. He is really good at eye contact. And I have to say, like, interpersonally, it might not carry as much on, like, camera, but when you're with someone interpersonally, the fact that someone's, like, zoned in, Jonah, not that creepy, but, you know, like, zoned in on you, and, like, I feel like when people are having, like, a hard time of, like, I'm confused with the show, he does, like, zone in and make them feel important. And I think you see that later on, that he's just...
I think you can tell he gets irritated when he feels like he can't give somebody his complete attention. And I think that was probably what was irritating him the most. Cut back to the end of last episode, beginning of this episode, which is because he was like trying to be engaged with somebody and then this fight was happening.
Yeah.
I like the one part too when she goes, when Demi, who we know about her mom, And then she goes, who hasn't been in a one-on-one here? And then she names everybody's name. And I thought that'd be funny if she was like, oh yeah. And then this person, that person. And Tasha, what was your first pet's name? Okay, cool. And your birthday's when? Great, awesome. And then whatever, like she's just slowly getting all the info from everybody.
And social security number?
Cool.
Yeah.
First street
Yeah,
you lived on? Great, cool. What was your first guys, my first elementary school was Underwood. What was your guys'?
She just has her mom on speed dial, texting.
Right.
Oh, poor Demi.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also hilarious.
Yeah.
But also, but hilarious.
Because she, like, the second she knew everybody, I was like, oh my God, this girl's been trained since a kid.
Because, well, Jonah also, you really want to be off the griff. So I feel like you want to live vicariously through the criminal genealogy.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
So speaking of the one-on-ones, we do go on one. So Hannah G gets the one-on-one card, right? And Hannah G is also someone who got the first impression rose.
Yeah.
She's kind of like the beautiful blue eyes, blonde, sort of. They look like Keebler elves together. We know her. She's great. So they go to a spa. They get robes and they're spaing it up. They get the clay on the face and there's like, is it in my beard? Ha ha. A lot of smooches going on, right?
A lot
of smooches. They're very like touchy. They talk about chemistry a lot, and then they say a gross line, which we didn't watch it together, but I knew that we would have a reaction. Thing. Yeah, like definitely gonna eat that sushi roll, and I was like, no.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
it's just gross. So we got a mud bath. We got a shower.
Yeah, they're wrapped in banana leaves.
Yep.
Which was. There's no way that's good for you.
Banana leaf? I don't know. Maybe they're warm.
Is it banana leaves?
I don't know.
Was it aloe leaves?
I think it was banana leaves. But
banana
maybe I'm
leaves,
wrong.
right?
Yeah.
I think sometimes they do that to tourists just to be like,
just to fuck with them.
We can do fucking anything. Like, it's insane.
Well, yeah, I remember being in Iceland one. I think I talked about this before. It was like their like delicacy is like shark, but they put it in a hole and piss on it.
That's right.
And you're like, this is a fucking prank, dude.
Yeah.
Like
they for sure are like, I can't believe we got
these stupid Americans.
Dude, they're so dumb.
Man, these fat ass Americans eat anything.
Anything.
Let's pee on the shark
Right.
and call it a delicacy.
And you can tell someone's like, the first person was like, I bet you I could get someone to do that. I'm like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah.
And he's
like, that's our thing now.
I have the most successful restaurant in the country.
Oh God, yeah, we're dumb.
Oh, it's so funny.
We're dumb for sure.
Also, this is the first one-on-one where they didn't really meet in it, right? It just kind of cut straight to them.
They didn't do the thing where they run and
there's always this kind of like little bit of like, oh, we're by ourselves before we meet. Mm-hmm. I was like, that cut to it quick.
They went right to it.
Yeah.
Because they had to get all that making out. I mean, that was not subtle. They even had a flower and a stem. We're like, I get it. They're populating. They're very horny. You know, like
he loves picking ladies up.
He really does.
Fan.
Yeah.
Big fan of it. That's his move.
Yeah. I don't know about it.
I don't know about it either.
It feels like infantile a little. Like maybe it's sexy. I remember like there's a couple. I mean, there's like a sex thing. Like like lifting somebody up against a wall, like rawr, or whatever. Like I get it, but it just seems maybe because they're so tiny, these little gals. It just feels like infantile, a little like toddlery. It doesn't feel sexy to me, but I'm probably totally wrong. I mean, everybody's into their own things. I'm trying not to judge.
Yeah, we find out that you go.
I like a good yowl growl.
Is that your thing? You're
Speaking
like,
of yowl growls,
Jason.
no, I've never done that. No. It's a cartoon. But Hannah also needs to stop doing her animal thing. You know when you get that one
crazy.
joke?
Yeah.
And you're like, let's just keep hitting this one joke, this one note.
I think, again, we talk about this a lot. I think it's the producers who are like, go, hey, can we get you in doing this thing again? They're like, oh my God. That's like the Bachelor version of like, I can't believe we get these Americans to eat this shit.
Yeah, right.
They're
Let's
like,
make them look so stupid.
They're like, I can't believe we can get these. We can get them to do anything they fucking want.
Yeah.
Which is
Jonah,
insane.
I like how you're thinking now.
Yeah.
I like how you're thinking.
Well, that was never a doubt in my mind.
I know. I just like it.
Yeah, I like it too. But like that, I get the sushi comment. I get it.
Like it's like a dad joke or a pervy
I
joke.
think it's just him being like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. But man, when you can't pull off those lines, it's bad.
Yeah, and he did have a little wink in his eye. Like he knew what he was doing. But
yeah, but the way
you gotta
just
sell
his
it more
execution.
confidently.
I had a friend like that when I worked at the retail store in college, and he was clearly in the closet and he just wasn't comfortable to come out yet. But like he was, which I believe he has now, which is great. Very good looking guy. Like girls like adored this guy, right? Mm-hmm. And then he, and then he, when we would like sit and talk and stuff like that, he just felt like he had to like boast a lot, and it was just like gross.
Yeah,
because it was like, come on,
yeah,
dude. Like he'd be like, you got to put Sinatra on, it gets him so wet. I'm like, oh, gross. When you have these
you're
like
insecure and you're really trying to push it hard.
So you're just trying to push it hard, and that's when I hate that. Like personally, as a male, when I'm with like other guys, I hate when people are like, "Yeah, I fuck."
Yeah,
you're like,
you talked about that before.
So cool, but
like,
when it's like, "Hey man, like you're come on, like that's totally cool, like
but it's like you can't they have to go everybody's got to go through their own journey, I guess. But it's fun. It sucks that like he feels that he's like, well, this is how guys must talk. Yeah. So I'm with guys, I have to talk this way, and like you're like, wait a second, we don't actually have to talk this way. All right, do what you got to do, man. Because you can't tell somebody.
I hate that talk.
Yeah.
That's why I never do that. But like also like I had a friend who was a virgin till late. We kind of mentioned this a little bit before the podcast, but like he would just be like, yeah, I finger like a bastard. Yeah. He like literally said those words, I finger like a bastard.
What is that? If you're gonna break down that sentence, I finger like a bastard. What does that even mean?
I don't know. I feel like
bastard's good at fingering?
I feel like I finger like I'm on the wrong side of the tracks.
What does that mean? You're economically struggling. That makes you a better fingerer.
I think technically a bastard would like ooh, when I think of bastard, I think of like a bad boy from across the way. Yeah. So he fingers like that. Yeah. He fingers like he might be in trouble.
Yeah, like he's a bad boy. That's a great Eddie Izzard joke of like, bastard used to be a big deal.
Yeah.
Like you're a bastard. Oh, you're shunned. Now bastard's like, ooh, you're a bastard. Like, oh, it's so sexy. You have a moped. Bastard. Like.
How do bad boys finger?
I don't really know.
With their middle finger.
Yeah, they're just like, they're just like, fuck you the whole time. Like very aggressive in one finger. Yeah. Not great at fingering. Oh, this took a strange turn.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it really did. And they just go, fuck you, dad, the whole time.
Yeah. Like, oh, wow. This is about your dad for sure. Right. Like, maybe get your anger away from my parts. Because this has nothing to do with me. You have some unresolved issues. Yowzers. So let's get back to the smooching, right? So Kaylin and Cassie, they're having some chats. It's cutting back and forth in the one-on-one. And I found it kind of interesting. So Kaylin and Cassie are talking about, so everybody's getting a little uncomfortable with the one-on-ones because people are getting a little more close to each other.
And they're trying to push it.
Yeah.
This episode felt real pushed.
Yeah. But the one thing that they talked about is like, they're concerned, how you are concerned with your opponent. They're concerned because Hannah has relied on her beauty too much, and there doesn't seem to be much to her.
Oh,
that's what came up, and I was like, that's all of you.
I thought the same thing.
I was like, let's not make fun of the Keebler elf for that. That's all of you,
right?
None of you, and this is no shame to the ladies, but if you look the certain way,
right.
You're not going to develop other tools. Right. You're all leaning on your looks. Yeah. What are you talking
Just
about?
because she's the prettiest in the pageant doesn't mean you're all not terrible.
Yeah, it's like one of those sentences where you're like, all right. Not a lot of self-awareness coming out of that moment.
If you're saying that moment and you have a manicure and you have a spray tan on.
Yeah, your eyelash, and this is, again, no shame. Like, I'm not trying to shame these gals, but... Right. It's so funny to me.
You're confidently in a bikini.
Yeah, you're like on a hammock, with short shorts.
Yeah.
You're all.
What's the proper way to say that word?
Short shorts?
No, I know that one. Oh. That goes short shorts.
Short shorts. Short shorts.
Short shorts.
What's the proper way to say what?
Hammock.
Hammock.
You said hammock.
Oh, I think it probably could be either way. Hammock?
Hammock.
Hammock is probably just very Midwestern of me. Hammock.
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 Yeah.
Hammock.
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 That's a very Hammockian way to say that.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting. I wanted to hear your take on it. And you kind of were like, oh,
completely agreed.
Yeah. Okay,
I rolled my eyes.
You rolled your eyes. And then, so we keep going. So after we cut from there, we go back to Hannah G and Colton's date at the restaurant, which this is why I was like, oh, y'all are beautiful, but not a lot of depth. The sentence that came out was like, I like showering. Me too. I like showering too. You're like, oh, you beautiful dum dum.
They meant like with you. I like showering with you.
Yeah, but I wrote so dumb.
Right.
I like showering. I'm like, way to get in depth, you guys. Way to really get to the core of it.
That'd be a funny like kind of like awkward Colton moment where he's like holding her up and he's like, and he like slips. Yeah.
Take
or like
two.
A snake drops on his arm and he just throws her.
Oh my God, Sir Hiss! Oh made it back into it. And then they do trying to talk about something. They're talking about divorces, and she's like, it's hard for just opening up. It's not my training. I divorced. She tells a memory about like driving on the lawn, and he does. You know, they react to each other like a first date, but it's not like, you know, like a first date would. He's good at listening. It's not like he's like Nick is like, that is sad. Like when I was on The Bachelor, right? Like he's listening.
That is sad. Do you follow me on Instagram, man? Do you follow me on Instagram, man? I thought that was like an interesting. At first I was like, ugh, this stupid story. Your parents are divorced. It's so hard. So hard. Look at you. Oh, sorry. Okay.
You end up crying and vomiting as you're watching.
But then the whole like, my dad just loved his lawn. That's all he cared about. And I was like, ugh, what a cool dad. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it was like, then they left, and then all of a sudden my mom just trampled all over it to move out. I was like, it's kind of an interesting metaphor, I guess.
Oh yeah, it's pretty blatant, right? It's like, I mean, you would remember that as a kid, you know, like it's a pretty strong symbolic moment. Yeah, you know, and a lot of those don't happen in real life. They happen a lot in stories, right? You know, we see like people taking vengeance in a story or in a movie in a way.
See, I didn't take it as vengeance. I took it as like
whatever it is. You're right.
Well, I took it as like a symbolism of like it all ending, right? Like he cared about this thing every single day, marriage, right? And then all of a sudden one day it just was trampled all over.
I'm just saying,
marriage. Yeah, but then Colton goes, it's pretty hard when somebody does that on purpose to hurt somebody else that you saw love each other. I'm like, oh, another way to take that too.
Yeah.
It's all, you know, it's all our individual selves, how we take these things.
That's true. We're all telling different stories in our brains.
Right.
We really are.
Yeah.
But I feel like in real life, I'm just trying to say like something that blatant doesn't often happen.
Right.
Like that kind of closure of like my dad liked the lawn, my mom did something to the lawn, and then something else happened.
Right.
It's not that clean cut most of the time. It's mostly very fuzzy and mushy.
Right.
He does say something that I want to talk about. You reminded me of
usually somebody
home.
sleeps with somebody else's brother.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Specific, Jonah. Specific. Moving along. Reminded me of home. How do you feel about that sentence in relation to telling somebody that in a relationship? Like, you remind me of home. I keep coming back because you remind me of home. But what do you think of like if somebody said that to you?
Negatively or positively?
Or just what are your thoughts in general? You know, I'm just kind of curious of what you
I feel comfortable with you. I feel at ease with you. I feel like I don't have to like put on a happy face.
So like a comfort.
A comfort. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like a comfort. What do you feel?
Yeah. No. Same. I feel like I'm at home with you. I mean, in the context of this, it's always blows my mind because you don't know somebody that much. So it must just be an instinct, you know?
I think that's like a normal thing.
To feel that way instantly
with some
about
people
somebody?
and some not. Yeah.
I mean, I think for me, it takes a while. Like, but there's like a safety issue there, like a comfort. And for me, like home always reminded me of like a safety.
Yeah.
And it kind of blows my mind, like in week 6, that you can feel safe with someone,
right?
You know, but in like real life, yeah, I think that's a great compliment.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it's also not that thing of like, it's kind of a contrast to like because there's a lot of chemistry and it's like sexy time and we're lifting each other up or whatever. Yeah. But then there's also this comfort that goes on. I feel like that's kind of the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I feel like there's like an ease.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like you, sometimes you go on dates or meet people where there's just like, this is just not. Like our equation doesn't work out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then sometimes you meet other people where it's just like, it just seems like you've already known each other for a while, and then like you end up talking for like 5 hours and you don't even realize it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's like the feeling of home.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
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 But for you, you're like, I lived in a condo with a security guy.
Well, yeah. It's like, well, I think safety is important. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that's an interesting phrase. That's all. Yeah. Like you know, it feels like I'm coming home. I just want to.
I like that phrase, but there's another phrase that gets brought up later. Which we'll talk about.
Okay. And then I love that girl band. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
That girl band at the end. That's what I'm always like in these shows. I'm like, listen, The Bachelor's fine. What's the story with this girl band? This is amazing. Like that bamboo sort of like chime harp thing. What? And I just loved it. Like those little pieces, like way better than the country music shit they usually do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I loved it. So that was kind of, that was the one-on-one. And so the next chunk, you know, there's some home chats before the group date. So we have the group date going on and everybody's like, I don't want to be on it. So this is the point in the show where people are like, no more messing around.
Yeah.
Group dates are a waste of my time. Like people are very much, I think it was Katie, Sydney, like there's a lot of gals, even Demi were like, I don't want to be on this group date.
Right.
You know, like I want a one-on-one. So Kirpa gets the one-on-one.
Which I'm kind of happy for.
Yeah,
we haven't really
too.
seen her at all.
Yeah, and then I was a little bummed out that people are bummed out about the group date, but I think they're so in their heads right now. They're kind of shitty to care about. Everybody's like, boo, 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 boo.
Right.
Usually people are like, yay, even if it's kind of a fake yay. They're like, good for you. That was not shown at all.
No.
Like, Kirpa's like, hey, guys. There was even a shot of her, like, kind of looking down, like, hey, dudes, what about... Remember how I won this one? You know, Demi even just says, son of a bitch at one point. Like, so she's pissed. Katie's pissed, but not giving up.
Yeah, that's a really shitty thing to do to like Kirpa or anybody where they're like, and Kirpa gets one-on-one and someone just starts crying about it.
Yeah, I don't like that part about this show or even in life when you're like, all right.
I don't think we see that often, like a public cry.
On this show?
No, we see that, but like a public cry and the group setting when somebody gets a one-on-one. Do we see that a lot?
Well, people like walk off.
Yeah, they walk. I get that.
Which is like, oh,
but like,
I'm going to take this moment. Like people do like, for lack of a better term, improv. Like they steal the energy of the room. And sometimes that's just shitty.
Right.
So I do think that shitty stuff does happen on the show. I don't know if it's like public crying, but it is like, well, even Elise did it earlier where she was like, I got to get up and walk away.
Like, okay, that's only two of us, but try saying this. Okay, ready? Mm-hmm. Say, Colton chose me to go on a date tonight.
Yeah, Colton chose me to go on a date.
Fuck you! Why would you do that to me? Like, that's so shitty.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You went for it,
I
Jonah.
went for it.
Your whole face got pink with rage.
You!
Yeah.
That's shitty.
It's shitty. It's shitty and it's childlike.
Right.
And you're on a game show.
Yeah.
Like, that's how this game show works.
You got to think of it like the Oscars.
Yeah. Just smile and keep clapping.
Keep clapping.
Keep clapping.
Yeah,
Keep
I can see that. Yeah.
Keep clapping. Well, and so we go on this group date, right? And we talked about this a little bit. So there's a lot of sportiness going on. Everybody's like all in black and wearing sports bras and like they're ready to kick some ass, like fighting for your love. And so the camera guy got to do some cool editing, or the editing gal, whoever's doing it. Colton, we talked about this, like showing off a little bit, like cha-cha-cha. And they do like that like 70s like zoom in of like, you know, like the genre, like kung fu genre with like beep, 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 boom. They kind of zoom in. If I was the editing person, I'd be like, oh, something different. That's fun.
I kind of was like, Colton kind of knows some shit.
Yeah, he seemed like, you know. Yeah. I believed
He's
it.
probably taking karate forever, which is why he's a virgin.
What, you think people who take sort of any martial arts or they're magicians, they're virgins? Mm-hmm. Taking a hard line in the
certain martial art backgrounds. I think karate is like the one where like, nah, it's a virgin.
Yeah, because you got a lot of like Napoleon.
But you told me like Krav Maga, I'm like, that guy crushes pussy.
I didn't know there were degrees of the belt.
Yeah, there for sure
belt.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, well, if you hear Brazilian jiu-jitsu, I'm like, that guy's tan and attractive.
Is that, so I don't know all of them. Is that the one where you're basically using your legs most of the time? Like you're wrestling and curling into each other?
Oh, I think so, yeah. It's the one that Gracie's perfected.
Who's Gracie?
Don't ask me more questions. I know general information.
Oh, okay. I'm like, who's Gracie?
The Gracies. You know.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't.
Something Gracie. Something else Gracie.
Okay. It reminds me a little bit of Napoleon Dynamite. Now that you mention it, like Chip, you know, and he's like, or like a
Foot First Way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit of like, oh, I'm pretty cool, and you're like, oh no, you're like sniffing glue or whatever.
Yeah. But he did do a good job. I was pretty proud of that.
Yeah.
I was wondering how long they practiced that for.
I don't know. Yeah, the choreographed number.
It seemed like he took that more serious than anything this whole Bachelor's.
Yeah, way more than his pirate moves, for sure.
Oh, that was bad. I forgot about that.
And then I just say, oh man, how come they're in sports bras? They don't get the blue suits. And then eventually they got the blue onesies or like the jumpers or whatever they're called. I don't know.
The geese.
The geese, is that what they're called? Yeah, and I was like,
so.
yeah, because I would really like that suit.
Yeah.
And then again, we talked about this a little bit, but that's where we meet the Bachelor Vietnam host, and Chris is pretending to understand.
Chris doesn't know a word.
Yeah.
He's saying.
But he's pretending.
The one guy's like, saying whatever he's saying. Chris is like, yeah,
sure. He's doing that Oscar thing.
Yeah.
Nod and smile. Nod and smile.
Yeah.
And then
he even does a fake like. Right,
for sure. He doesn't really get to do a lot of announcements. I thought he would be announcing it more, like when he does with Fred Willard. They didn't really do many like play-by-play commentary.
Could they with that group?
I don't know. Yeah, there was not a lot going on. And
Why
we talked
didn't
about this before.
Also, that seemed a little racist that they didn't put any subtitles in there.
Oh no, they did. Oh, you know what? They did for Hulu, but I always have the captions on.
Not for ABC.
Oh, the captions they did.
So you get to see what the guy was saying?
I did, yeah.
Or was it in his language?
No, No, it was in English.
Oh, I thought he was. In my head, I was hoping he'd be like, "You're not understanding a fucking word I'm saying,
Then
are
he
you?"
was saying things
Chris like, "Sure, yeah, right.
Get him, get Chris Harrison.
He's like, "Your wife divorced you for me." Huh? Yeah, I know, I heard.
For sure.
Yeah.
So what do you think about like the laughing? Like, I thought it was kind of fun. Like people weren't as serious, and sometimes I like that.
No, I think it's that like the nervous, uncomfortable, like.
Of, like we have to punch each other in the face. Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody was so surprised that Demi had no bite, all talk.
I could see that.
Are you not? Why would you not be surprised by that? One, she's a petite little person.
I like when she was like, "The face."
Yeah, the
you
face.
Hit me in the face.
Yeah. And everybody's like, she coiled up.
Who she go against? That girl that Katie was good.
Katie, yeah.
Yeah.
Like she was there to play.
Demolishing.
Yeah.
That whole thing was uncomfortable for me to watch.
Yeah.
I think even like Colton was like, "Well, that was supposed to be fun."
Yeah. Well, at the end when he was like, we're seeing, what did he say? I think he said coiling up. Seeing Demi coil up, it just was a little, like he did a face. But here's the thing I'll give Demi, right? She said she was so uncomfortable, and she still went for it and did it anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was thinking about this, and this is not what they implied at all.
Yeah.
But like, if you have a history, and we do know that she has some like stuff in her background, jail mom.
Right.
If you have your history,
grifter mom.
Yeah, of like getting beaten up as a child, this is, which I'm not saying she has.
Yeah.
But like, this is not a great group date.
No.
It might be some triggering shit. Because I was thinking about how I would, like, I get like laughy and aggressive sometimes,
Right.
like jokey. But as somebody who's been in a domestic violence situation, maybe not
Was it
great to have
fighting?
a camera on my face for that. You know?
Yeah, I thought that was just a weird. I get like when they have like the jousting stuff, like that's fun, and you're getting being hit by a soft thing.
You're saying like sparring, maybe not great.
It's such a weird place to be put in, where you're like, okay, fight, literally.
Yeah. But they do it with like, remember
And then you're just getting punched in the stomach the whole time. Yeah, but that was fake.
Yeah.
That was choreographed.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah, there was more of like a serious element to it. You're a little right, as opposed to like, playful fun.
Yeah.
That's why I think it was great that they were giggling. They're like, this is silly.
Well, I think they're laughing uncontrollably because they're trying to like mask the fact that they're scared.
Yeah, it's weird.
Because it's like,
weird.
oh, this is real. And then
Yeah.
they're just like slapping. Like, they learned nothing.
Yeah, that's true. They did not.
I like how they're like, hey, you're going to learn everything in an hour. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, but I wonder too, like, what would you be like? Because the other thing is, like, I don't actually want to like be let loose in that way on TV.
Yeah, because you would kill somebody.
I did kick, but I like it. Like, it is like a beautiful, like, I always think that like women are trying to sort of like keep all of that in and like not lash out or like not let rage out. We're trained to be very polite and not take up space. So I took kickboxing classes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I love it. I just don't want to be like physically like, I don't know.
You just don't want to be hit back.
Well, no, like that's the thing. Like I liked it with my trainer.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be like.
They also would tell you what was going on.
Yeah, or like it felt like you're a gladiator. Like you're in it now.
Yeah.
Hit this girl that you're up against. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like that seems odd.
Yeah.
I don't know. And maybe it's also training. I'm really trying to think about this now.
I mean, okay, sorry to say this, but you're not getting hit in the face. You're just getting hit in the tit the whole time.
Well, you could. I mean, they had face protection. You could go for the face.
No, you couldn't. They said because when she got hit in the face, you're like, you hit me in the face, and then the girl was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit you. Like you're supposed to go. They clearly was just told them to go body, not face. You know. So it's like.
Yeah, but you can hit in the side.
Yeah,
I know what you're saying. Like
hitting the tit hurts, right?
Oh, for sure. I mean, for sure. But you can be hitting in the side and protect yourself. And you don't have to go for the boo.
You don't want to hit in the tit or the hit in the pit.
No, nobody wants to be. Well, I guess here's the thing. Nobody really wants to be hit in general.
No.
So it is an odd, like, fun game to be like, hey, beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, but the thing is like, okay, so I don't want to hit my partner in the boob the whole time. So then you just get hit in the stomach and you shit your pants.
Yeah, and it's also, too, I don't think, like, it's a very weird place. You know what? I think we're in agreement. It's a weird group date.
Yeah.
It's a very weird group
That'd be
date.
funny if there's like, for Bachelorette, it was just like, all right, guys, you guys are just going to punch each other in the dick the whole time.
Dick flick. Who goes first?
Yeah.
Move fast or your dick's going to get flicked.
Yeah. You get that or some ball uppercuts.
Yeah. The other thing that I liked about it, though, and the fairness of it, like they were fully dressed. They in the positive side, they were taken seriously. It wasn't like shallow wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't like sexualized
or
in
like
any
mud
way.
wrestling.
Yeah.
Which I think they've done.
They have done.
Yeah.
Well, they've done with dudes for sure. They didn't.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Season.
That's right. Yeah.
So I liked that part of it, but then it's interesting that we're putting like very like super femme women in something that's like a little more masculine, and we're a little uncomfortable about it. And I don't know, that kind of bothers me about myself, but it was uncomfortable to watch.
I don't know. Would you feel uncomfortable if it was like the guys doing that?
I don't know. I don't know, and that kind of stinks. Because
we've seen some pretty physical stuff.
I'm
I don't think
trained
we've
in the
seen that.
patriarchy as well, you guys.
Right.
but it felt uncomfortable.
Right.
And maybe it's because they were uncomfortable about it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Huh.
Anyway, moving on. So we did the after party, and people are really tense as well, right? Again, we were having like Demi, Katie, Sydney. They're having some real issues at it, and then Tasha's really good at taking Colton away and having one-on-one time no matter what, and she's been very good about all the time.
Right.
And she asks the questions like, "I want you to have curiosity about me," and I think that was a really great way to frame it, where it wasn't like sort of blaming or like being upset. I really liked her terminology, like, because what I feel like she's saying is like, I want you to show me attention, and want to be with me even in this odd setting, and I think I want you to have curiosity was a neat way to frame it, and he responded really well, like that. He's like, and he's in a challenge of like, I have to keep all of these women interested all the time without lying to them. And showing you attention. And that's where I really noticed that his eye contact came in. Like he was like, zoom, I hear what you're saying. This is my issues. I want to connect with you. I get it. Like, I thought they had a great interaction there.
Yeah, he never dismisses anybody's feelings ever.
Right.
He seems like he's pretty good at being like, okay, I hear why you say that. Yeah. Like I'm trying to understand and see. Yeah. And I think her approach, like this is the thing that kind of sucks about it, is like you do have to try to keep the king happy. Yeah. Right? The show, which sucks, is like there's many women in the court and you have to like placate the king a little bit, but you don't want to get lost in it. Or you don't want to be a shiny object, which is like, I really like that phrase they used as well of like, I'm just here to make him happy. I'm here to make him happy, and whatever he wants to do, I'll do it. And you see that kind of women and men in the other seasons do that. And I think somebody like Sydney, who wants to be taken a little more seriously, it clearly got to her. Right. They're like, I'm not going to be this sort of shallow thing. Right. I want to be something more, and I don't think you're into that. And yeah, I totally understood where she was coming from too. Yeah, people are confused. Where Sydney's just like, it's hard. Yeah, and I really like Katie. Like Katie was somebody who I like dug. She was sort of like the strong, silent type, and she was just like, my worst fear is to be misunderstood, and I don't think I'm opening up, and I don't know what to do about it. Yeah, and that was kind of it. And it was nice that you like reassured her. As much as he could. Yeah. Yeah. And Hannah B, like poor Hannah B, like she's just like there for the smiles, man, and there for the growling. And she's just like, I'm so complicated. And I'm like, are you though? Like she even said that. I'm like, no, I think that she's one of the placaters. Like she's like, I'm just here to have a good time. And that's okay. I just think her like therapist says that she's complicated. Yeah. Isn't that a bummer that we like see these people in these one actions and we're kind of like, I have a snap judgment about her. That's okay. Is it? I feel a little bad about it, but it's also kind of nice. I think in a lot of these situations too, we learn that sometimes we're wrong about that. Yeah. Which is great about the show, because what happens is as we have these snaps. Here's where Jonah makes it deep when it's just not. Dang, it's snowing out here. Okay. Hey, so who's the girl that has been kissed now? Heather. That's her title now. Yeah. On every single. I know, when you notice that, I've never not noticed that. Yeah. Yeah. That's just her job now. Has been kissed. Right. It is. There is this excitement to want to kiss again with her that is so uncomfortable when she talks to Colton, where it's like, yeah, right, and like hair touch. It's almost a little. I know she doesn't mean to be this way. It's almost a little pushy, where I think it's like, this is weird again. Like the first kiss we saw, because obviously there's excitement. First time you get a kiss, I'm like, all you want to do is kiss more, right? So now all she wants to do is that, and this is like. Yeah, I just like that because Colton's first time he's going to have sex. He's like, who knows sex all the time? It's like, dude, this is you in the future, son. Yeah, watch and learn, my friend. Right. Yeah, what is that? Like too thirsty. A little too thirsty? Too thirsty. Yeah. But that's why they would work out well together, because they're going to be, once they have sex, they're going to be like so thirsty. And they don't know if they're bad or not. Yeah. Because all they've had is each other, so they're like, this is how great sex is. Yeah, every single time. Beautiful denial, or sort of just not information? Yeah, beautiful denials, I think, is a good way. Beautiful denial. Oh, that's a really elegant way to say something. Thanks. Mm-hmm. Yeah, or like moronic optimism. That's me in general. Yeah. With like a skosh of healthy skeptic, but like, it's all gonna be okay, I think. Yeah, or like yeah. Yeah, I like the way you said that. I like you're gonna like the way you talk. Thanks, man. Thanks, pal. So we're having sort of like, and then we hear Demi's mom. So uncomfortable. Oh my god, that's what I wrote. Demi's mom is so.
They're really stretching
uninterested.
Everybody gets the one. Everybody's getting a lot of time. Like we're seeing a lot of Colton like talk to people, which means like we know the show ends a little early, so it's supposed to be I think ending on March 11th. They're really stretching it.
Yeah.
Like so we get a lot of time with Sydney, a lot of time with Demi on the phone, and she's like, I want to be soft and sensitive. My mom taught me that. Let's call my mom in this totally normal phone call. That's
she said
not
if you be
weird at
soft
all.
and sensitive, you don't notice when they pull your wallet. When you pull their wallet.
Soft and sensitive is like light touch of the hand.
You touch the shoulder first and then grab the wallet while you do it. Everybody knows that. It's touch distraction.
God, what would you do if someone was like, hey, this is the first time I called my mom out of prison. I want to do this phone call with you. And you just met them 6 weeks ago.
I missed that part that she said just got out of prison. So I was hoping
that
it was going to be a collect
call
call from Demi, it's your mother. Pick up, please. And then she has to pick up, and then it's just like 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
3 minutes left.
Yeah.
And you hear whatever. Yeah.
The
in
door
back.
slam.
Yeah, the
we have a
cages.
very Hollywood idea of what jail sounds like.
No,
even though
seriously,
we've had
I've talked to my
parents in jail.
dad from jail a lot. It sounds exactly like that.
Can you hear the clink though? I've never
Sometimes
actually.
you definitely hear a lot of people talking in the background.
Yeah,
That's a fact.
Yeah.
And there definitely is like collect call from
Yeah. I just never know like that because I never actually talked to my dad on the phone when he was in jail.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, my dad's in prison, so I kind of had to.
Yeah. For a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah. How do
What
you
of it?
No, I'm not
You got a
judging
problem with
you.
that?
Of course not.
You got an issue with that?
Of course not, Jonah.
Listen, I'm not that guy,
Are
okay?
you trying to get all like peacocky now?
No, I'm just fucking. But yeah, I would hate it.
It would be odd, and it would be odd. And like the Easter egg at the end of this is like also Demi talking about like the things that her mom sent her in
And she-
jail.
yeah.
Colton's face, he cannot hide how uncomfortable he is.
No, and he's trying so hard.
Yeah, he's like, look at these
"Oh,
adorable
this is great."
dream tech.
Yeah.
He's like, maybe there's an arts and crafts section.
See,
It's like, Jesus.
my problem with her, I think that makes it more uncomfortable. It's like she doesn't call out the ridiculousness of everything,
Yeah,
right?
not self-aware.
Yeah. See, I wonder if I ever made people uncomfortable that I've dated about that because it. But I always thought we always laughed about it, like
Yeah.
it was like our own like little secret joke,
Yeah.
about that. Because I think that's what you got to do. You got to like create levity to it, right?
Yeah.
But you also have to like call out like, hey, like my mother's an ex-con. That's
Yeah.
silly. And like, oh my God, look at all this shit they made. Like, what do you think they made this with? Like toothpaste? Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, you're right. There's a little seriousness to it, but maybe we're biased because I think I've made people uncomfortable in the other way of like making levity out of a situation that's supposed to be serious. So then people didn't know how to react.
yeah.
You know, when I was like, oh, dead dad stuff, or like, you know, my
Yeah.
dad couldn't drive because DUIs, like, oh, I was in jail, you know, whatever,
Yeah.
or I don't know, jail or whatever. It's not as serious jail as your dad, so I don't want to like.
It's not prison.
Yeah, it's not prison.
No, but jail's more of a consistent
yeah.
because it's
yeah.
like, ugh, again?
Yeah,
Like that.
Yeah. He had a room. you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, let's put him in the old box.
My dad, we talked about this before the podcast, but my dad would send me Marlboro cash. That's a really hard word to say, by the way. Marlboro cash.
Yeah.
I'm in 4th grade. I have a whole wardrobe of
Jackets.
with cowboys that are smoking on it. Good job, Dad.
We had camel cash.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad didn't
I
smoke
had the
until
umbrella.
later.
I think I did have like the little Walkman.
That's what it was. We were
Yeah.
talking off camera. I'm like,
Yeah.
what was like the big thing?
I think I had the
it was the
windbreaker.
Walkman.
I'm
The
for sure the
windbreaker
windbreaker
was huge. Yeah.
I for sure had like the pool toy like tennis
like an
stuff.
inflatable. Yeah.
No, tennis like that has like the. Man, that was a thing back then.
Yeah, and camel cash. I remember. So Marlboro money and camel cash. Is that what
Yeah.
it was? Yeah.
Marlboro bucks, I think it was.
Yeah. Oh man, you could tell what side of the tracks we're from.
I know. I mean, he would send like envelopes full of. I mean, it was like I already had everything on the catalog.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, I guess I'll have to get another windbreaker.
I'm sure he probably was like, guys, gather him up. I got to send him to my son.
Yeah.
It's like, what? How?
You
So
know-
he's like 18. He's 4th grade. It's like,
But to be fair,
but it's
your
like you
dad's still
tried.
working it. Your dad's still working it in the joint.
And then he would like, there was a thing too where you could, I think I might have mentioned this before. You could, in the one-offs, which are at least listened to podcasts. Thanks, guys, for supporting me, sharing something very important, by the way.
Jonah's grieving on a mic and
Yeah.
nobody cares.
Yeah, only having a super awesome conversation. So
Like make him feel bad about not caring about your kid.
yeah, it's no problem. I'm just kidding. He would send me videos of him like reading a children's book. You can do that.
Wow.
But I was like in middle school.
So you're like, I'm a little too old
I
for
was like, this is a little engine that could. But then you like fit in like store, like he'd try to fit in, like he always thought he always tried to be like the patriarch, you know, where he'd try to like put in like you
Words
should
of
always do
wisdom.
this and always treat this like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're in prison. Just tell me what not to do.
That's
Like, don't tell me what to do. Tell me what not to do. You know what I mean?
Oh my God! So I didn't know they offered this service, so
Yeah.
they could have them read a story, like a bedtime story or whatever, and send it to.
Yeah, so you can,
Do you
can
have
like,
like a VHS or something?
yeah, it was a
of it?
VHS of it. I think I watched it once. I was like, this is ridiculous. I wish I would have kept that because it was just pretty damn funny now.
Yeah.
He had a big
Holy
old,
shit.
he had his big old,
Like 80s mustache?
yeah.
No way.
Yeah, with long hair, and this is when he's like working out all the time. He's all jacked.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's crazy, Jonah.
Yeah, and then I found like I would talk to people that like, because like after he got out of prison, all of a sudden like he just started hiring all his prison buddies to like work for his. So then I'd hear things where people were like, yeah, when Jeff was there, everybody used to steal his shoes all the time. It's like, okay, because he went to a prison in Latuna, which is in like the southern part of Texas. So he was like kind of like the minority there. So everyone would just fuck with him all the time.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
So how long was he in?
I don't know. Like when I was a kid, everything seems like a long time. I think it was like 3 years or something.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
off.
still, I mean, a couple years.
He's off and on probably for maybe 12 years altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he's probably been in. He's probably been. I don't know. He's probably been in prison for 8 years of his life altogether. Maybe. That was his major thing. That's like when things got real bad for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What
the Bachelor's
else did he-
keeps going on.
Yeah. So what else did he send? So like Demi is showing like dream catchers or whatever.
all I
It was just
remember.
this hardcore like Marlboro Bucks, and then this video.
Yeah.
Then did you actually go and see him or just on
I
a phone
did.
call?
I
So
visited
you
him
did.
once.
Yeah. So you went
Yeah.
all the way down to Texas.
Yeah, I remember being on the phone with him, or my mom was on the phone with him on the speaker, and then he was like, you ready to meet your, he didn't meet me for like years. I mean, it was probably like 8 years or something. And then he was just like, as long as he's not fat and doesn't have short hair, I don't care what, my son. And I was a fat kid with a flat top.
My God. So you heard him because he was on speakerphone.
Yeah.
So you
Or my
heard-
mom told me that. I don't know what my memory is, but
So the first time you ever met your dad was in prison, or did you meet him before? that?
as like a young adult. Yeah, he was around till I was like 4.
Yes.
And then he kind of disappeared.
But you didn't really. I mean,
Yeah, I
4, you know,
remember.
like, you do have some memories.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I don't really like. I
And
feel
then he
like
would
4 or
call,
5
even
is-
though he was like absentee, he still would call. So I would still talk to him like maybe a few times a month.
Yeah, but you saw him face to face and had a real memory the first time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then he was in the hole at the time.
Shut the fuck
Yeah,
up, Jonah.
because he was getting released soon, but they found a map of the prison in his locker.
He was trying to escape.
No, well, his excuse, which I think is true, this is just how dumb he is, where he was like, no, I was trying to show my dad what the prison was like. So he's like, I was sending my dad all this stuff. Because he was like, I wanted to show him what was going on.
And he didn't realize that.
Yeah, so then I thought he was going to escape.
But
But he only had like a couple months left.
Yeah. Oh,
Or maybe he
no.
was trying to escape. Maybe they just showed Shawshank. They don't show Shawshank at
I
a
would
prison,
think
do
like,
they?
yeah, I would think like also like when you're like on the airplane, they don't show you like airplane crash movies.
Right.
I would assume they don't show.
But they do
Shawshank.
show air crash plane movies on the plane. I watched one once.
Really? Well, I
Yeah.
remember like in the 90s
They showed
cut-
Flight on the flight. The flight I was on
No,
once.
they did
Yes,
not.
they did. I swear to God.
Because I remember there was 2 edits of Get Shorty because there's a plane crash in Get Shorty.
Oh, yeah.
And they wouldn't show that on the airplane, so the times have changed. You
maybe-
cannot show Flight
I know.
on
I know.
a flight.
I know that was one of the options you could watch.
That is
Yeah.
bananas.
You want to hear some more bananas?
Yes.
So when I met my dad, he goes out. He's all like in an orange jumpsuit. He has he has cuffs on his ankles and his wrists.
yeah. So he's in the
because he's like
shuffle.
he's a flight. He's like a flight risk, right? And then he so my first experience with my dad is him hugging me with cuffs on.
Oh man. So did he like
And then he
have to
hugs my
put his
mom.
over like his hands over you, or did he just
Yeah.
like
His
so he had
hands
to like
over me.
lift up your head and then
Yeah,
squeeze
yeah.
you. So okay.
And then he like does that. Then he hugs my mom, and I guess supposedly he like pinches her tit a little bit.
Oh man. Always a rascal.
Yeah,
This guy.
it's like, hey, sweetheart, and that they weren't
What a
together forever.
How
yeah,
romantic.
And then I go in the yard with him,
Uh-huh.
you know, with all the other murderers and ex. And then he goes, I got you something, and I'm like, cool. And he gave me a calculator watch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give
Was
me
it
a
a Texas?
No, it's like,
Texas 180.
probably.
or
I don't know. He's
Or
like,
just
here you go,
Casio.
and I was like, yeah, He's just you use that for your schoolwork. I was always good at math. You should go into that. And I was like, tell me what not to do.
I'm looking for advice,
Don't give me like, this worked out for me. No, because it didn't.
Oh, man.
Like, he's like, yeah, I always went to, you should go to military school. I went there. It was great. I learned a lot. Like, what? Going to prison? What are you doing?
You're like, is this like an opposite situation?
Yeah,
the
just be like,
of
don't
everything?
do that because it really, go to school because I didn't and fuck me up. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah. You're
I'm
going
gonna go to school. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a Casio watch is something.
Yeah.
Right?
So
you're relating to Demi's dream catcher.
I think we're kind of soulmates.
Oh, God.
Demi, you said nobody understands you. I do.
Yeah. Who does? This guy right
does.
Here. Oh, man.
Guess what? You can look me up. Social security number is 486.
No, don't do it.
No, it's not.
It's gotta be hard too when like somebody's like, "Hey, here's this really like a personal moment," and then at the end he's like, "Yeah, you don't get that rose."
I know that so much.
You're like, "Yo." So Tayshia gets the rose.
Yeah.
Demi's like having a phone call with her mom and all this stuff, and it's like, "No."
And her mom was seriously like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
See ya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be so funny if she didn't know she's on speakerphone. He's like, did you do what I told you to do yet?
Did you get those passwords or what? So Sydney leaves.
Yeah.
She's just not having it.
No.
Don't feel connected. I you know what? There's something empowering about like, this isn't working out. I'm going to go.
Yeah.
You know, like in the show, I feel like you don't see it a ton.
We see that a lot.
Sometimes. We'll see like somebody like Kenny who's like, I want to be there for my kid. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I kind of like it. Mm-hmm. And she was pretty open about it and then was left. And it weirded Colton out. But hey, that's the thing is like, you're not trapped there. And she said something interesting. Is like, it's not just up to him. It's up to us. Yeah. Like we're both in this together. Bless you. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I think the exits that we see this episode, I think are pretty warranted. Yeah.
Yeah. So the
and handled decently well.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
So the next big chunk is the one-on-one with Kirpa, right? Yeah. And she's friends with Sydney, which they mentioned, and this is actually their last day in Vietnam as well. And it feels like she has a lot of pressure up top. She's like, this is a make or break date, and you know, I don't know. So a lot of the words that he's using when they kind of have their chatting date, when they're like having like a fruit plate, like a brunch, they have like a casual brunch up top before they jump into the ocean, like. He says something like it's very natural, it's easy, it's open, it's honest, I'm attracted to you, but it's pretty slow moving and that's okay. So
I would hate that sentence.
Oh, it's slow moving.
If someone said, he said, I think he said like how he really said it was like this relationship is moving. Our relationship is moving slower than others.
Yeah, but he did say it was okay.
And that's okay. Yeah, he did say that. Yeah, and I like it.
But you would.
I would be like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? What are you doing with these other ladies?
Yeah. You're thinking.
So what isn't it about me that you are more into about the other people?
They
That'd
do
fuck
end up
with my brain.
smooching, which I was like, oh, because you definitely don't see them like raw attacking each other like Cassie and Hannah G. They were very much like smooch. But
wouldn't that fuck me? Somebody said like, hey, like I love our relationship. I like that. It's just like before I've been in like relationships that it's just only about physical. And like us that we're just kind of like more grounded and moving slowly. I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, especially in this game show.
Right.
I would be weirded out by it. In real life, it's like...
Well, even in real life, I hate hearing that.
Really?
Yeah.
Because sometimes it makes you feel special. You know, there is a way to look at it where it's like...
But sometimes also being like, I just want to jump your bones.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's all we have is the physical.
But that
makes me feel special too.
Yeah, I think it's like, I guess where you're at. Like, it's not a lasting thing. So if you want something that's a lasting thing, I think it's okay to be like...
I get the intent. I get the intention, but I don't like the execution on that at all.
Well, especially in this game show where it's like...
So I was saying game show, you're putting it down.
No, but that's what it is. But it's like people are advancing farther than you. And it's okay that we're moving slow, but you're like, but is it?
Yeah.
Because I feel like you're responding well and you're like rewarding them with roses, so it feels like maybe this isn't true.
Yeah.
That's a weird game.
Yeah.
I would get in my head a little bit, for sure.
Yeah.
So they swim in the ocean. Does he plug his nose? I missed it.
Did they jump?
They jumped in.
Yes, he did.
He for sure did.
Yeah. I thought he was going to be like, gross, he's into gross. But he kind of like throws it at the guy.
I love
catches it.
You're speaking of gross. They eat like, because I think they're catching fish or they're catching something in the
something
ocean.
There.
And then they eat. There's like a lime slice, and then there's something on top, like a mussel or something.
Yeah.
And he eat it, and Colton's face is fab. He's like, oh. He's just like, he is. I'm like, not loving it.
Oh man, he is so bad at quote unquote faking. He's not good at like just like Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, he's not adventurous with certain things. Yeah, gross. And then we go to anything else about this? They go to the dinner eventually.
Could you imagine? You remember Stand By Me? Could you imagine if Colton looks in his shorts and there's a fucking slug on his penis?
Oh.
Could you imagine? He'd run around like...
Not again!
Yeah. He'd run around like the coyote when his like feet would be on fire or whatever.
Yeah, there's like swirling around. Yeah. Ooh. To be fair, I wouldn't be able to handle that either. Yikes.
Oh, me either. But like, I'm not telling you I'm a man.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm getting like the.
Yeah.
Kirpa, I really enjoy. She did say it exceeded all expectations, and I went, no.
Yeah.
I just don't like when people use the tag phrases. It's not their fault. I'm sure they're being coached to do it, but for some reason, it was like, oh, grody, I don't like it. And then they have like their deep dark secret, dinner of like, tell me your secrets. And so it turned out she was engaged for 8 years. He was a virgin, and Colton was very quick to be like, I'm a virgin too, but not for religion. And I was like, whoa, all right, chill. Yeah. And she doesn't get a lot of screen time. And we talked about this pre-podcast. She does that thing in conversations. I feel like why she doesn't get a lot of screen time. She nods a lot and she interrupts with like, which we do,
right?
Like you and I, but also in like conversation, you do that as a human being. Exactly. And I think those people don't get a lot of screen time.
You don't think so?
Yeah, like they're the people who like listen and smile quietly. I think it's easier to edit. So I'm like, oh,
That's
bummer.
true.
Kirpa, are you just not getting screen time because you're harder to edit? And they never talked about what was on her chin either.
They never did, and it disappeared.
Never did. She has a calm confidence. That's another thing that he keeps saying that he's drawn to. Calm confidence.
Yeah.
We don't see
I think
a lot
she's
of
like
sparks,
the sleeper hit, like we saw with Rachel.
Okay.
Like two of the people we were like, these people are gone right away.
Rachel? I liked Rachel.
I did too, but I'm saying that there's the two guys. No, on her season.
I'm sorry. Right.
Yeah, and I'm
Gotcha.
forgetting their names. But by the end, they almost made it to the end, and you're like, I did not think that these two were going to be the guys.
Yeah, Adam, I think, was one of them.
Adam, yeah.
And he turns up, he's with Tia now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we don't see, that's the thing, like I feel like another reason that like, of like as a producer or whatever, why people aren't getting stage time, even if they're like actually having good conversations with people, if there's not that like salacious spark or if they're not acting like crazy town, you're just not going to give them that much. And there is not like a fireworks with them.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that they don't have a connection, And I feel like it's cool that he's like, I think that's so cool that she gets the rose. Like, they might have something that we just don't see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Agreed.
And then, of course, Demi has to ruin it. This is the other thing I feel bad about Kirpa. Nobody's excited that she gets the one-on-one. And then nobody's like, oh, how'd it go? It goes instantly into Demi, instantly goes into salacious stuff. Like, he's not going to be a virgin anymore. Yeah. There's lightning going around. Like, the crazy sex witch is coming. It's like, oh, jeez. And she calls him Coco?
I didn't catch that.
Or a nickname, I think. Like, hey, Coco. And I was like, what?
I hate that.
Is that a nickname that we're using?
That. Coco?
It reminds me of Conan O'Brien. Their Instagram is Team Coco.
Oh, so it reminds me of the gorilla that had the friend that was a kitten.
The gorilla that could do sign language. Yeah.
And then her best friend was a little kitten.
And Fred Rogers. Not Fred Krueger. Different Fred.
Fred Rogers.
They had a hug. It was very weird.
Who's Fred Rogers? Mr. Rogers?
Mr. Rogers, yeah. You don't remember
You call him Fred Rogers? Or are you being funny?
No, I don't know why I called him Fred Rogers.
That one person was like, Fred Rogers? What the fuck are you talking about?
Mr. Rogers from the neighborhood.
Yeah, you said Mr. Rogers. I'd be like, oh.
Listen, I guess we have weird things with Freds.
Fred Rogers?
Fred Rogers.
Yeah.
My good friend Fred.
Hey, Fred.
Hey, Fred, with the cardigans. Get over here.
Yo, Fred.
Yo, Fred.
Fred Rogers.
So this goes wrong.
He doesn't look like a Fred. I feel like his name would be like
Albert?
Clarence.
Yeah, he's just very proper.
Yeah, it does. Albert's good.
yeah.
Charles.
Yeah. But he's a regular guy from Philly.
He's from Philly?
Yeah.
Man.
Just a regular preacher son from Philly.
I thought he'd be from like Nebraska.
Yeah, he does have a Midwesty vibe.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Let's get into this Demi situation.
Please.
Because this does not go well for her. No.
First off, it seems fake from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
That seems like one of the most staged things we've seen in this season.
Yeah.
Because even it was like, oh, hey, Demi. And he's like,
let's
hey,
take
Coco.
that again.
Yeah. Sorry.
Take 5.
Oh, hey, Demi.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Demi. Yeah. And he also mentioned, which I really like, she's like, I'm here to see if you're okay. I just want to check in on you, which is not what she was saying before, which is like, I'm going to get it.
I'm going to fuck that shit.
But he's like, I had a great night tonight.
Yeah.
With Kirpa.
Yeah.
Just everybody remember.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah, no, I was a little rough, but I had a great night.
Yeah.
I was like, that's right, you did. And then she goes right to the I'm falling in love with you. which is like
Loved the response.
Yeah.
I cringed.
Yeah, it was a like looking in between my fingers.
That's
of,
always
like,
great
ooh,
when you say something really
yikes.
nice to somebody and they go, I appreciate you saying
I
that.
appreciate you saying that. It gives me a lot to think about, and I think you need to go home.
I was like,
dang!
yeah, he's like, yeah, I will say like when I'm not around you, I do think about you a lot, and that is you need to leave now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't think we're gonna. What did he say? I don't know if we can get there in the end. So I'm not gonna make you go through this rose ceremony.
Right.
Get out.
Yeah.
You're like, wow.
Security. Yeah.
Did you see it coming?
No.
Yeah, I didn't see it
I
coming.
thought she was gonna last pretty long.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming. But hey, sometimes bold moves turns out don't work.
Yeah.
Whoa. And then she had like a moment where she was crying or whatever, and then she's like, "You're making a safe choice. You're making a safe choice, and it's not going to work out." And I was like, okay.
This is a comment that Colton takes as like, why does everyone keep saying this to me?
Yeah.
But really,
people-
it's these people that just got hurt.
Yeah, they might just be
And they're
lashing
saying,
out.
yeah, they're lashing out.
Yeah, and he's thinking there's
And
like
he's
a
like,
hidden meeting.
Oh wait, oh no, yeah. Then we looks at the camera. He's like, what the fuck am I not getting? Mm-hmm. He's like, that
What am I
people are
missing?
upset that you. I don't think he gets that people are up. Like if he's not upset, he doesn't understand why other people would be upset with them breaking up.
Yeah, although
He kind of was like that with Tia a little bit.
Yeah, maybe there's a disconnect.
He's kind of
there.
like that. I don't like this anymore. I don't feel this. And she's like, what the fuck? And
Yeah,
he's like,
yeah,
why
yeah.
are you being mean to me?
Yeah.
It's like you broke somebody's heart.
Yeah. It's odd, and maybe there is a disconnect. Maybe he's like, I don't understand why they don't feel, but he's gotten dumped before, so I'm sure he understands how it feels. Like,
Right, but
just
he's like a
basic
football
empathy
player. He just
stuff.
goes on to the next.
Get on to the next.
On to
He
the
is like,
next.
can I walk you out? And she's like, okay, but he didn't walk her out. She went back inside the house.
Yeah.
It was very weird. I've never seen that before. Like, can I walk you out? Usually, like, you go to the big like SUV and you
Yeah.
disappeared forever. They show her going back in the house.
What if he like walked her to the door? I was like, all right. And he like slapped her.
Click.
He slapped her butt. He's like, have fun out there.
Good luck to you.
Yeah,
Clap, clap.
let me walk you out. All right, cool. We're at the door.
Yeah, so she went inside. It was very dramatic.
That would be
for some
funny if you hear
reason.
the door shut and then you hear click, click, click,
all the locks.
click. Yeah. What if
The big 2x4 that goes down.
and then like
yeah,
that.
you're like, beep 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 beep. Security
Yeah.
system.
Security alarmed.
Alarm. Bring out
Click.
the dogs.
Click. Yeah.
Oh, so Hannah.
And then you just see like the blinds go down with the eye
he's
out
like
there.
peeking out.
Yeah.
So then she got like, I don't understand why it was so dramatic. Maybe they just needed to fill time. So she goes back and she's comforted by the two Hannahs, Hannah G, Hannah
Mm-hmm.
B, and it's like very upsetting. And I'm like, that's kind of odd to me why she's having this dramatic moment. But okay, whatever. I
Yeah.
guess that's what we're doing. And then the second and last chunk of this episode is the cocktail party. But ha ha ha, just kidding.
No cocktail party.
Chris comes in, swaggers in. He's like, hey babes.
Hey.
There's no cocktail party.
Hey.
We're going right to the rose ceremony. Badoink, come
Yeah.
out.
I just went to some ladyboy clubs.
Ladyboy clubs. What are you talking about?
Those are big in Thailand.
Oh, geez. Oh, God. There's only 8 gals left. I'm just going to move on. 8 gals are left. We've got Kirpa, Tasha, and Hannah G all have a rose. And then there's Hannah B, Kaylin, Cassie, Heather. They all get a rose. And Katie is out. And I went, bummer. And she's the one that gave him the warning. Not Demi.
Oh, yeah.
So she's the one that...
No, Demi said the same thing too.
Did she?
All three, because at the end he goes.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
He
There's
goes,
like- there's a
everyone so
trifecta.
far has left and said that I'm just making the safe choices.
Or like there's somebody here that shouldn't be here, kind of a thing.
Right.
And so she says, like, Katie, when she walks out, she's like, it's okay, it's not a big deal. Some people when they leave, they reassure the other person, which is nice, I guess. They're not like, you asshole. And then she gets a warning. So there's 7 people going into the week, and Colton is like, that's when he's like, am I fucking missing something?
Right.
Like he seems to be getting a little like, I need answers.
I like the breakdown with the swear word.
Yeah. The swear word.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of swear words coming up. Like in the trailer for the next one.
Baby,
Like,
this is
there's
what we've been waiting for.
This is a lot of
I can't wait to be disappointed.
Jonah's gonna be all living up like,
Yeah.
oh, it's gonna be the greatest, and then it's gonna be a letdown. So Chris is swearing, he's swearing, the ladies are swearing, there's a lot of tears. It's the most dramatic season ever. Barf, barf,
Oh,
barf.
man. I want to see Chris get so pissed he pushes a PA.
He's like, this is the croissant I wanted. He gets all French when
Get out there.
Yeah. And that's that. So watching Hulu, it's really interesting. I just
Wouldn't
want
it
to
be
say
funny
this.
if he jumps over the thing and then Chris is like, the Bachelor's back, and then he comes back, and it's just Nick, and they don't say anything about it.
They don't say anything.
They don't say anything
Everybody
about it.
pretend it's Colton. Well, you know, Colton was on, speaking of jumping the fence stuff, Colton was on Jimmy Fallon. No, I'm sorry, Jimmy Kimmel, because obviously they are ABC.
Jump on the fence.
And he said Chris tried to jump over the fence as well, and it didn't go well. You know, so you got, it's on Twitter. I'm sure you get the YouTube.
I want to see that where he gets up and he's like,
yeah. It was like, yeah,
he
maybe
like
we'll
starts
be
to
in a
get his
blooper
leg
reel.
over just a little bit.
Yeah. You know Chris Harrison is not approving that to be seen by the eyes of anyone.
course not.
Yeah, where he's like
Yeah.
struggling and dangling,
Yeah.
like in PE when I try to do
Right.
pull-ups. You know?
He's got like the Rock and Vin Diesel thing, like in Fate and Furious or the Fast and Furious movies where they can't be beat up.
Oh.
Like you can't make Chris look weak at all.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. Yeah. I am
Or it's
strong.
like, where you look, his pants are split.
Yeah. Or just like they slowly go in his
Yeah.
little plumber's cracks
Yeah.
hanging out. He's like, "Aye."
Yeah, then he like falls and like rolls on his back and he gets up and he's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Brushes
to be
himself
fair,
off and there's,
that's
like,
how I would look
what-
trying
yeah,
to
me
jump.
too.
I mean,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no
100%.
shame.
Yeah.
The thing I noticed, because again, I'm watching it on Hulu. It's so funny to me. The next, the like, suggested video after this is Handmaid's Tale. And I'm like, whoa! Taking a dark turn, The Bachelor.
I was hoping it would be. That's
gosh.
really funny. I
Yeah.
thought you were gonna say Titan Games.
No, Handmaid's Tale. They're like, if you like The Bachelor, here's this horrifying dystopia feminist nightmare
Right.
show that's really happening now. And you're like,
Right.
oh God. Yeah.
It'd be funny if it's like Entourage.
Oh, golly jeepers. Entourage. Well, that's it. Week 6. We did it.
Week 6, we did
so
it.
we have a couple more weeks left, and then hometowns are coming. People are freaking out about it. Do you have
Yeah.
any, who you still think the forerunners are? We talked about Cassie.
I still like
and
Cassie.
Tayshia.
Yeah, we talked about Cassie. I still like Kaylin.
Yeah.
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 But I know there's talk about Cassie
Yeah, there's talk. Yeah, we talked
going
about
the distance.
Yeah, going all the way.
I think Kirby's gonna be a sleeper hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I like Tayshia. Mm-hmm. I kind of majority of these girls I like.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Hannah B, the Growler,
Yeah.
or Hannah G.
Get her out of here.
The Hannahs are a little like, whatever.
Yeah.
They're just playing the game. I don't know.
How about you? How do you feel? How do you feel?
I think Tayshia's really doing well at the game. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
she might be really in love with it. I'm not trying to make a comment on like why people are really here. Are you here for the right reasons? Blah. I'm just saying like she goes out of her way to like take time and like talk to him and like talk about real stuff, and I like that.
Me
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I did like, even though it backfired, I did like how people were complaining about the one-on-ones. And then Demi goes, I still, even though I don't have many one-on-ones, I still act like our time's a one-on-one when we have it. And then I was like, whoa, what a good way to look at things. And then he kicks her off and I go, wow, what a bad way to look at things.
Like JK, JK, JK,
Yeah.
JK. Yeah. Well, that's it, Jonah. We did it. So till next week, my friend.
Yeah. Kelsie, anything coming up?
You know what? I'm doing your show.
Oh.
I'm doing your show on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Comedians You Should Know on Wednesday, and then I'm at the
Which is-
comedy bar every weekend in this month. So if you're in Chicago, you can check that
Those are
out.
Friday through Sunday?
Friday through Sunday.
Friday
yeah.
through Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Just hosting. So I'm only on 8 minutes, which is fine.
That's
you know?
okay.
But you can see my face being loud.
Are you on the Jam anytime soon?
Yeah, so this week, if you're in the Chicagoland area or if you have YouTube or whatever, I'm actually going to be on the 13th tomorrow when we're recording this. I probably shouldn't say that. Anyway, the 13th and the 14th. So Valentine's Day. I'll be on for Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What channel is that on?
I don't know. It's the
You don't know the channel that
I
you're on?
honestly don't know because I don't have TV. You know what I mean? So
Oh.
I just have to like either stream and or find everything
It's on
on
the U.
YouTube. So it's on the
Okay.
U. So whatever your local channel is, it's on the U. Mostly it's syndicated stuff, but the Jam is at 6 a.m. and 7 a.m.
Okay, cool.
It's very early. Follow me on Instagram. I put all the behind the scenes stories on there.
Oh,
Hey.
yeah.
How about you, Jonah? What are you doing this week? Am I going to see you on Wednesday night?
You can see me Wednesday night.
Nice.
Comedians You Should Know. I am at the Comedy Bar the first weekend in Chicago of March.
Oh, nice.
And then the second weekend, I'm at the Comedy Bar in Nashville that just opened up.
Right on. So you're taking a
with
little road trip.
Yeah, with very funny comedian Marty DeRosa.
Mm-hmm.
And every Saturday, you can check out the Blackout Diaries at Under the Gun Theater at 10 p.m., which is a drinking storytelling show.
You're
Super
very
fun.
busy indeed.
I'm okay.
You're okay. You're
Yeah.
okay. Well, have a good time. You know,
as well.
and if anybody's interested, you know, we did the Comedy Bar once. I have a YouTube clip up on it. So if you ever want to see Jonah and I's faces, like a behind the scene vlog,
Oh, yeah.
which is better than Colton's vlog.
Hell yeah, it is.
Or is it? I don't
It
know.
is. Yeah.
But yeah, you can check that out just my YouTube channel. Just Kelsie Huff on YouTube.
Cool.
You're on there. You're on
Thanks.
there a couple times.
Oh, no.
On the old vlogs.
Erase it.
No, I never shall. Well, thanks for listening. Are we out of here?
We're out of here.
Bye.
Bye.